Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You are not going to believe what just happened in the world of no prep and drag racing. Today, we're talking about something absolutely historic. Jimmy Taylor becoming the first man to hit the 3.30s in a door car. Yeah, you heard that right. 3.38 seconds in an actual door car. That's not just fast, that's mind-bendingly fast. Now, before we dive into the numbers and what this means for the racing world, let me paint you a picture. Imagine standing at the edge of the track, the air heavy with the smell of burning rubber and racing fuel. The engine screaming, the crowds quiet with anticipation, and then, with one flick of the throttle, the car launches like it's breaking the laws of physics. The ground trembles, the lights blur, and before you can even blink, the car has already blown through the 8th mile. That's the kind of run Jimmy Taylor just pulled off. Let's rewind for a second. Just a few days ago, Jimmy made waves when he went 3.45, breaking records and grabbing everyone's attention. Then, almost immediately after that, he stepped it up again with a 3.43. At that point, people were already saying, okay, this guy's on another level. But then today, he did the unthinkable, 3.38 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, that officially makes Jimmy Taylor the first driver in the world to put a door car into the 3.30s. That's a milestone for the history books. Now, for those who might not grasp how big that number really is, let me put it in perspective. We're talking about a full-bodied car, not a dragster, going faster than most thought physically possible. The previous record was 3.45 with a 7, set by another twin-turbo car from Extreme Racing Engines. Jimmy didn't just beat that, he obliterated it, slicing off nearly 0.07 of a second. That's a lifetime in drag racing terms. This run wasn't just another test pass. It was the result of meticulous preparation, a private test session, custom track prep, optimal conditions, and a team that knew exactly what they were chasing. Everything had to line up perfectly: the track temp, the air, the boost curve, the launch, the suspension setup. And when all those elements hit in sync, magic happened. When Jimmy crossed the line, the data showed something absolutely wild: 240 miles per hour out the back. That's not just a record-breaking number, that's insane. The previous record was around 233 miles per hour. Jimmy added 7 miles per hour to that, and anyone who knows drag racing understands that's not a small jump. That's an engine making monstrous power. We're talking 6,500 to maybe even 7,000 horsepower. Now, let's talk about how this compares to the other power setups out there. The fastest screwblower car to date had gone 3.46 at around 218 miles per hour. A few years back, one managed to touch 221 miles per hour, but still, nowhere near the 240 mark that Jimmy just hit. When we look at centrifugal supercharged cars, like ProCharger builds, the best have gone about 3.48 on radials, maybe a little slower on slicks. So for Jimmy to come in with a twin-turbo setup and just destroy that entire field? It's unbelievable. And let's be honest here, this run is going to make a lot of people rethink what's possible. Can another power adder combination even come close? Maybe if someone runs nitro in the mix or throws the rulebook out entirely. But right now, turbo cars sit alone on top of the mountain. Now, before anyone starts debating blower versus turbo, let's remember, this pass happened in near-perfect, controlled conditions. It was a private test session, not a public race, which means they could tweak everything to the extreme. But that's exactly what record-breaking is about, finding the absolute limit of what's possible. Still, it raises the question, what's next? Can anyone top this? Could we see a 3.20 something in the future? Maybe, but for now, Jimmy Taylor's name is etched in drag racing history. Let's talk power for a moment. The kind of force needed to move that car 240 miles per hour in 3.38 seconds, it's staggering. We're talking well north of 6,000 horsepower, probably in the 6,500 to 7,000 range. Every component of that car has to be engineered for extremes. The drivetrain, the suspension, the aerodynamics, and of course, that monster twin-turbo engine. The car doesn't just have power, it has control, precision, and a setup so dialed in it almost seems supernatural. What's really cool about this moment is that it's not just about the number, it's about innovation. Jimmy and his team didn't just chase speed, they chased perfection. Every run, every tune-up, every small adjustment got them closer. That's what separates the good racers from the great ones. You can't just buy your way into the 3.30s, you've got to earn it through grit, experimentation, and relentless pursuit of the edge. Now, of course, this incredible milestone has stirred up the racing world. Donald Long, one of the most respected names in radial racing, once said that no silly car would go this fast, or that a door car couldn't compete with a radial setup. Well, Jimmy just proved otherwise. And I don't know about you, but I'd love to see a true no-limits face-off between the best radial car on Earth and Jimmy's 3.38-second door car. Strip away the weight limits, remove the overdrive restrictions, and let's see what happens when both worlds collide. Because here's the thing, when innovation meets opportunity, history gets rewritten. Jimmy's run didn't just break a record, it shattered expectations. It reminded everyone that even when people say, it can't be done, there's always someone out there willing to prove them wrong. And now, the big question, what happens when they take this car to the quarter mile? Jimmy's already said he's going for it, and I have zero doubt he's going to run in the fours. When you've got a car that moves like this over 660 feet, stretching that performance to 1,320 is only a matter of time and tuning. The math adds up, this car will go deep into the 4-second range. But beyond the numbers, beyond the data, there's something deeper here. This run represents passion. It's the essence of racing, pushing boundaries, defying logic, and chasing the next tenth of a second. For the fans, it's a reminder that the sport is alive, evolving, and full of surprises. For the racers, it's a challenge. Can you top this? So what's next for Jimmy Taylor and the team? Probably more testing, more tuning, and definitely more record setting. You can bet that other teams are already back in their shops, recalculating, rethinking, and rebuilding, all trying to catch up. That's what makes this sport so exciting. Every record lights a new fire under everyone else. And to all the racers out there watching this, let Jimmy's run be a lesson. Limits are only real if you believe in them. The moment you decide that something can't be done, you've already lost. But if you're willing to put in the work, make the mistakes, and chase the impossible, well, you just might make history too. So, to Jimmy Taylor and his crew, hats off. You didn't just run a number, you redefined what's possible for door cars everywhere. Now, let's talk about what this really means for the future of door car racing. When someone breaks a barrier like this, it's not just about one man's victory, it's about the ripple effect it creates across the entire sport. Overnight, every team that thought the 3.40s were their ceiling just realized there's more potential on the table. Tuners, builders, and racers everywhere are now asking the same question. What did Jimmy and his crew figure out that we haven't yet? That's how innovation starts. One record inspires hundreds of others to push harder, think smarter, and go faster. And that's the beauty of racing, isn't it? It's not just horsepower and timing slips. It's a constant battle of brains, courage, and creativity. Jimmy Taylor didn't just hit 3.38 by luck. He and his team found that perfect formula where power meets precision. They turned chaos into control. Every successful pass is built on countless failed ones. Late nights in the shop, broken parts, bad launches, and relentless troubleshooting. That's what makes moments like this feel so electric. They're not just wins. They're triumphs over years of persistence. Let's also give a shout out to the engineering behind this car, because this isn't just brute force, it's art in motion. That chassis is built to perfection, the suspension tuned to absorb ungodly torque, and the twin-turbo system pushing air like a hurricane. At 240 miles per hour, even the smallest imbalance can mean disaster, yet Jimmy's car stayed arrow-straight down the track. That's not easy, that's mastery. When you're traveling a football field every 1.4 seconds, there's no room for error. One wrong move, and you're not just losing a run, you're risking everything. Another thing that makes this achievement so special is that it happened in a door car, not a purpose-built dragster. Door cars are the heart and soul of grassroots racing. They look like real cars, they carry that muscle car DNA, and they connect with fans on a deeper level. Seeing one of them dip into the 3.30s makes it feel attainable, almost relatable, even though it's far from easy. It proves that you don't have to be a million-dollar team with a full-time factory program to make history. You just need passion, precision, and a whole lot of grit. Of course, every record brings debate, and that's half the fun. The community's already buzzing. Was it the car? The track? The air? Some are saying the conditions were too good to replicate, while others believe this is just the beginning. Personally, I think both can be true. Yes, the setup was ideal, but talent and tuning still made it happen. Anyone can have a prepped surface and a sunny day, but not everyone can launch 3,000 pounds of steel into the stratosphere and keep it straight to the stripe. Jimmy Taylor didn't just benefit from the conditions, he commanded them. You can feel the pride and inspiration spreading through the racing world. Social media is lighting up with tributes, memes, and wild predictions. Fans are replaying the video over and over, staring at the time slip like it's a piece of art. And that's exactly how legends are born. This run isn't just about numbers, it's about emotion. It's the kind of moment that makes you remember why you fell in love with racing in the first place. The sound, the speed, the adrenaline, and the realization that you're watching someone rewrite history in real time. And here's something that often gets overlooked: how much teamwork it takes to make something like this happen. It's not just Jimmy behind the wheel. There's a whole army behind him: engine builders, tuners, data analysts, tire guys, and family members who keep things running when the nights get long. Racing might look like a solo sport, but it's really about unity. Every 3.38-second pass represents hundreds of combined hours, decisions, and sacrifices from a team that believes in the impossible. Now imagine what comes next. You know every racer out there is going to be gunning for this record. Someone's already in the garage right now thinking, all right, we can hit 3.37. And that's the best part, the race never stops. Every record just raises the stakes, fuels the fire, and pushes the entire sport forward. Jimmy Taylor has set a new benchmark, and whether it stands for a year, a month, or just a few weeks, it's now the standard everyone will chase. The 3.30s are the new dream, and it all started with one man daring to go where no door car had gone before.